coming from an elementary K-2 and then a 3-5 and then another jump from 6 to 8, which is a pretty big one, I would say. In addition to some of the things we are going through, we are undergoing construction, as you can see, and some internal construction changes that new phases that we'll be learning about tonight. So thank you very much for being here. We are also recording for those of you who were not able to make it tonight. So for people at home, they'll get to see this presentation, and you can see it again. How's that? Okay, great. So again, thanks for being here, and we're going to kick off with a little bit of a student perspective, so just hang tight for a minute.
Hey there, future middle schoolers. Welcome to your new school. Today we're taking you on a tour of our building, so you know exactly where to go and everything is when you arrive here. Let's go.
This is the brand new main office, your go-to spot for general help. Need to drop off a note, check in late, or talk to a principal? This is where it all happens. The friendly staff here are always ready to help.
Not feeling well or need to take your medication? Head over to the nurse's office located just down the hall from the main office. Our school nurse is here to make sure you're safe and healthy.
Welcome to the library, a quiet space to read, study, or do research. You'll find tons of books, comfy seating, and helpful librarians who can guide you to your next great read.
Here's the 6th grade hallway, your new academic home. You'll have most of your classes right here, and your lockers will be in this hall. It's a great place to get to know your teachers and classmates.
This is the cafeteria. This is where you will be eating lunch every day. Also, in the morning, if you get to school early, you will go to the cafeteria and wait for the school day to start. Some of the most popular food options are chicken patties, we have tacos, there's breakfast food on Mondays, and a lot of other options. When the weather gets nice, students are also allowed outside to enjoy the fresh air while eating.
Here's the music hallway, home to band and chorus. If you're planning to play an instrument or sing, this is where your musical journey begins.
This is the gym, where physical education class, school assemblies, and fun activities take place. Whether you're into basketball, volleyball, or just want to stay active, this is the place to be.
We're excited to give you a behind-the-scenes sneak peek of our brand new auditorium being built right now. It might not look finished yet, but this is the stage, and this is where the new seating will be. This is the wing that will lead to the auditorium, and to my right here, this is where the new field will be. This is the brand new kitchen space, and to the right will be the brand new cafeteria space. Coming soon! Next up is another important new space, the clinical suite. This is where our school counselor, social worker, and school psychologist will be located. If you ever need someone to talk to, help in school, or just a quiet place to reset, this will be a safe, welcoming space. Even though it's still being built, it's going to be an awesome resource for students. Right down here will be the 3 counselors' office, and in there will be the school psychologist. And over there is a sensory room, which will be a great space.
Who are we here with?
Miss Litzenberg.
And what's the biggest difference between the middle school and elementary school?
Good question. I think it's pacing and expectations and having a lot more freedom.
And what advice do you have for students coming into the middle school next year?
Just have a lot of fun and listen to your teachers, of course.
Great. Thank you. What advice do you have for the 5th graders coming into 6th grade?
Just pay attention in class and get your work done if you want to have good grades.
My advice for an upcoming middle schooler is ask your teacher questions and they'll always be willing to help you.
I would definitely say my favorite part about middle school is the spirit days, as you get like it's really fun to have the whole school get involved and have a lot of fun together.
My favorite part about middle school was definitely like the ski club activities and the sports. And some advice for middle school is just get your homework completed on time.
My favorite part about middle school is hanging out with my friends at lunch.
My favorite thing about middle school is the trips and the group things we did on different holidays.
We're so excited for you to join our middle school family. And remember, everyone here is rooting for you and always happy to help. See you soon!
Thank you. So a couple things about the video. Mrs. Nosey, who is our STEM teacher, actually has students obviously do the whole thing from the production and the filming. And you can tell there's different phases of the video, some older and some more recent, as you saw some of our construction phases, which is really kind of fun and cool. But they do the filming as part of their class. They put together a ton of videos for us and they do an incredible job. Show of hands, how many of you, this is your first middle schooler? Ooh, nice. Get ready. It's a lot of fun. And how many of you, when your kids came home, did they tell you we went and visited them last week? Okay, not bad, that's great. So we were there, we did go to Erbenheim, the three of us, and we took our school counselor, Mrs. Biasi, and we took a panel of students in grades 6, 7, and 8. And we did something very similar. We took them through a similar slideshow, we asked them they had a chance to ask some questions, we told them we were going to be meeting with you. So we're going to share a lot of that information tonight and hopefully answer some questions. A little bit about us and who we are. As I mentioned, there's 3 principals in the building. There are students in grades 6 through 8. There are 3 school counselors, about 49 teachers. There's a nurse, a social worker, school psychologist, behavior analyst. We're going to talk a little bit about how we're broken down so you get a sense of that, because one of the biggest changes coming from a 3 through 5 building is you move from having 1 teacher predominantly, potentially 2, to having several more. And just for some background for me, this is year 31 for me as an educator, but I've been a middle school principal for most of my career, but before that I was a principal of a 3 through 5 building. So I know the feeling that you have and have that experience as well to bring with me. A little bit about who we are and what we believe in, and this is important. I think what I would say most about our building is it is built upon and really is strengthened by the people that are here. That's everywhere from our custodian to our office staff, our bus drivers, our teachers, our support staff, and kids, and all of you. People is what makes the building run. Yes, we have things we have to cover, and yes, academics are important, but none of that honestly really matters. The people matter first, and that's something we really strive for. So we believe in our relationships, academic, I feel like I'm standing in not a great place. Growth for everybody, academically, socially, emotionally. We want our kids to explore. We want them to try things. This is the time to do it. You know, I tell the kids all the time, when you go to high school, you're in a credit-based structure, and everything you say and do matters. Here, it matters, but it's the time to take those risks and to take advantage of trying anything and everything you possibly can to figure out what it is or have a sense of what you might want to do. We also really want to keep you involved as much as possible. Your kids will not want you involved as much as possible, and that's pretty normal because they're going to do a lot of this. Don't allow that if you can help it. You know, do a lot of listening and be involved, even if that means you're listening in the car or, you know, like I used to kind of just listen while I would drive and everybody would be talking because our kids couldn't stop talking, and that's okay too. So continue to be involved. Last year when I began, this was my second year here, we did some work as a staff, and we wanted to get back to the roots of who we were as a staff and what we believed in, and we identified goals and values of what we felt were most important for us and for our students and our families. Our students in particular, this is what we wanted. These were our goals by the time they leave here and the values that we have. You can just take a look at those. Oops. That's okay. Again, goals and values and the things we're really striving for by the time kids, and they evolve. So they come in 6th grade and they're still pretty young. And then by the time they're in 8th grade, they're in a whole different ballgame. It's a very, very interesting age range to go through. We're gonna take some turns now.
Hi everyone again, I am Mrs. Kieran Brady. This is I was hired in the middle of the year, so technically I've just completed 4 years, so I'll be entering year 5 here at the school district. I've absolutely loved it here, and we're excited because if you've had students that go through the middle school before, some of the things you're gonna hear are gonna be brand new because we're making some changes. So we're moving towards more of a team approach. The most important things that we're gonna have kind of 2 teams, and the reason is we want to really be able to know your student more in-depthly. Our teachers have amazing relationships. They have amazing one-on-one relationships. And what we want to do is capitalize on how well our teachers do that and put our grade in 2 separate teams, a Navy and a STEEL team. And the reason for that is that these 4 core teachers, science, social studies, math, and ELA, will be able to meet tightly around the same 100 students. And that way we are able to kind of address that whole child. Not just how we're doing in social studies, but how are we making relationships? How are we doing at lunch? We're always kind of keeping an eye on what's going on at lunch. And those are really important aspects for us, and I think we're gonna be able to do that to a deeper level in these tighter 4-person teams. Some changes that we made, we're moving to a 67-minute period. I know, 6, 7, this was all decided before that was a thing. I almost was like, I think we need to change everything. But it's the way the minutes came out, but it's perfect. So if you're not used to it, we're actually reducing our amount of minutes from 80 to 67. And the most important thing is that we wanted science and social studies every day. Right now, science and social studies kind of rotate every other day, and it's different teachers. It's really hard for our students to manage, and we think it was really important to go through and have our students reach all 4 of those cores each day. We also have specials. You'll have 1 specials period a day, and that rotates. That's our only other rotation every other day. If you're old hat, and we've had people come through, there used to be a 6-day cycle, and they had to have an A and a B day, and they had to remember what number it is, and over the last couple of years, we've really simplified that for our students because we think it's developmentally appropriate, and we're trying to make it easier for our students. We have WIN right now at the end of the day. And what we find is it's a difficult time, right? And the whole student body at the same time, at the end of the day, really trying to dig in and dig a little deeper was difficult. So what we did, we moved and partnered our WIN with lunch, and that's staggered throughout the day. So each grade level will have WIN either before or after lunch, and that allows us to kind of separate our students into smaller student groups and really meet them and figure out what they need. Do we need to fill some gaps, right? Is there something that we need to support them with? Do we want to extend their learning in science and social studies? Do they need a little bit of time to study for their test the next day? Do they need more enrichment? What do they need? And we're going to schedule that time out during WIN, and that's going to be partnered with lunch, staggered throughout the day. And of course, and one of the most exciting thing, I think the most important thing the kids can't wait to hear about is like, what can I do after school? The extracurriculars, the sports, and the activities, and we're going to get to that a little bit later. So this might be overwhelming to you, but I wanted to show you, this is what their schedule will look like next year, all right? They'll walk in for their block 1, we'll have our AM announcements, and they're gonna get right to work in what their first core is. So when you see core means either ELA, math, science, or social studies. So they have 4 cores, and you'll see they're all broken up, okay, those 67-minute blocks. And in the middle, they have that WIN/lunch period, okay? 30-minute lunch, and we do our best when it's nice outside. After everybody wraps up to eat, we're getting everybody outside to the track, get some outside time in there when we can. And as you can see, they have specials near the end of the day, and that's gonna rotate every other day and change per marking period, which I'll get to a little bit later.
We're gonna go back to what Dr. M and Mrs. Brady touched on about teaming. To provide a little more clarity, is just like in the summer, probably like around August, your child, or you guys are gonna get an email from introducing your either Navy or SEAL team. I don't know which one is which, but the 4 groups from the screen, it's gonna be one of these teams. And it's for a couple of different reasons. The first one is like what we talked about, the relationship piece. Every single student on like the Navy team is gonna have that set of core teachers for their core content. That helps with the relationship piece, but it also helps with common language. Like social studies is an extension of ELA. They're gonna be taught how to write things. It's the same language in ELA that they're getting in social studies. So there's not confusion of like, oh, that's what you mean. No, like it's being introduced the same way on both teams. The same to go with science. There is certain like math you need to carry out in science class, but that same common language will be given to them in the teaming aspect. The bottom support team are our special education teachers. They're going to be cross-team, our interventionists, and I think those two. If there is like ELD or any type of additional like, special education services, that's where those will be cross-team. That doesn't mean like your student's not going to see their friend that's on STEEL. It's not an enormous school. There's still like they're going to be classrooms next to each other. It's not siloed off of like, oh, the end of the hall is only for blue or for Navy, and the front of by the stairwell is for STEEL. No, they're all interwoven, even with their specialist teachers are in the same hallway, especially with the shift into this team approach. Can I say anything about that? Great, cool.
Okay, one of the things I think, as I mentioned, relationships come first for us, but another thing I think we pride ourselves on is meeting kids where they are and then growing them, wherever that is. Meeting the needs of all learners under what is called an MTSS framework, multi-tiered systems of support. So consider that like our umbrella in which everything takes place. We're all under that. There are different tiers. No matter where you are, we're gonna meet you where you are, meet your child where they are, and grow them. So just an example of that, this could be done through WIN, but it could also be done in your academic core area. So there's tiered academics, there's peer mediation, there's emotional support, at times we will be holding grade level town hall meetings, we'll be doing that through WIN, enrichment and counseling. As Mr. Hammond mentioned, some of the other supportive services are we have a full-time emotional support teacher. Right now, Ms. Barnett covers grades 6 through 8, so her caseload runs all the grade levels. New for this year, and we're going to get to this slide a little bit, is we have one dedicated teacher of the gifted who will service all of our students who have a GIEP, and they will remain with that person, similar to the Erdenheim model for those full 3 years, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And as we mentioned earlier, we have counselors at every grade level. Our counselors loop with your kids. So Mrs. Biasi will pick your kids up in 6th grade, and she will stay with them for the full 3 years, which is nice. So there's like a tightly wrapped program there for everybody. Okay. Thanks. This slide's a little hard to see, but I'm going to do my best to explain this. So this is the new piece this year, and this is a little bit to talk about gifted education and the way that we're servicing students with the GIEP. In years past, our students were served through our ELA classrooms. It didn't mean that that was the only high level, like it wasn't leveled per se, but students were clustered together for their ELA classes. We are really going back to what I think a lot of you are more used to at Erdenheim, which is traditionally, as I mentioned, one dedicated teacher. It's Professor Bruger. So she is actually they are stepping out of the 6th grade team, and Professor Bruger will be our teacher of the gifted, responsible for the caseload of students in grades 6, 7, and 8. So again, you'll be staying with the same case manager, which I love, because I think anytime we can develop that strong relationship and continue it, it's always a good thing. Servicing will be through our WIN periods, so students will be clustered together for enrichment purposes for that. In addition, they may be pushing into classrooms to provide some extension activities, and so there'll be a little bit of push-in and pull-out model for that. And I think this is really important because it's an increase in our staffing, again, to better meet the needs of our kids. Specials.
So you probably, you received an email and it had a link And it's your one homework assignment. You've won. I promise. It's just one. I think you can do it. Okay? It's a Google form. And I'm calling it for the 6th grade, and this is going to change 6, 7, 8. There's a little bit more choice as you go through in our specials from our 6th grade through our 8th grade. And it's really, really important for us as bringing in middle schoolers for 6th grade that they get a foundation of everything that we offer. And we think that's really important. And the only thing I need you guys to do for me is specifically, I'm going to call it, it's really a music preference form. Does your student want to be involved in orchestra, strings, chorus, and with those choices, I'm going to get that a little bit deeper. We're still going to be able to offer all of these 6th grade specials. So you're going to see some specials that you're probably very, very used to. Your art, your STEM, your music. Some things that might be a little bit different is that we're going to have two, like an indoor PE and an outdoor PE. Shocking, outdoor PE will be in the fall and the spring, indoor PE in the wintertime. Everyone, if you're not taking band course or orchestra, everyone will have 2 marking periods of this. If you are taking band course or orchestra, it'll go down to 1 marking period. If you're taking band course or orchestra, you will also, that will be instead of your general music. That way you're still able to get everything we have to offer and still get that ensemble work in the school day. We also have introduction to language learning. And really that is through Spanish, it's about a little bit like, why would we learn languages? What is culture? Why is it important to learn languages? That's one of our specials. And 2 new specials that after talking to parents, after listening to students, after really having a lot of different conversations over the past couple of years, we saw a need that we thought that needed to be met. First is, if you've had a middle schooler, executive functioning, organization, study skills, or something that everyone struggles with. And so what we really wanted to build at the 6th grade level was a course called the Success Lab. And really what that is going to be a course to help build student foundation of study skills. What does it mean to be a middle schooler? How can I be successful? How can I navigate this thing called Schoology? Where can I find my homework? How do I organize my day? And then we're going to build that into their school day throughout the year, because we think that's a really important foundation for every student to receive. And secondly is a little bit of lifelong learning. This is going to be like a wide-ranging source using a little bit of common sense media of what's a digital footprint? When I put something out, does it actually, I can just delete it. Well, not really. So a lot of this education, we really want to get education about digital literacy early. So they have an understanding. Students may or may not have social media accounts. We really want to understand what their impact of what their words and what they do online, and how it can be used for good, and how they can use that in their education and support them. So these are some new courses that we have that we really hope will support our middle schoolers as they go through here in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. There are some support services that will take place, and mostly that might be some reading foundations that could take place during this special time as well. And I know this is a lot of information, but and these specials will happen each marking period. So you have 2 specials per marking period, and it changes each marking period. That's something different that we've done before. We've kind of changed our specials rotations the last 3 years, and really the goal was for the students to manage less adults, right? At some point in time, we've had students having to manage 8 different teachers. Now we've really narrowed that down to 6 at a time. And we think that's really helpful for them, helpful for their learning, and that they can really focus on the core courses that they have each marking period.
We introed this already. We have a lot of different extracurricular opportunities at the middle school. The first thing is this blue box. It's something I'm passionate about, but like 6th graders are not eligible for any of our sports. I've coached here since I've taught here, 2 different sports, 8 seasons, but tell them like they'll have their chance, just not until 7th and 8th grade. You can see plenty of lists of them. I'm not going to read all of them off, but I take a lot of pride in saying that like there is a after-school space for almost every single kid that we encounter here. Any interests, any sport, any activity, any fitness or anything, like really, and then a lot of our teachers running this, we have a majority of our coaches here are also teachers. And like some of the best relationships I've created with students is that I got to show them a different side of me outside of the classroom. And in all of these spaces, we have a lot of like what's really cool about you guys is your children is they're going to be the first classes to have 3 different performances in years in that brand new auditorium, which like the success of our drama productions has like influenced that. It's beautiful, like it's got like for what I've walked through, like how it's laid out, like it's very exciting. It's something I think they'll take a lot of pride in as well. Other things I just want to highlight too is Ultimate Frisbee and Fitness Club. Behind this gray screen is a brand new fitness center that is open for 6th graders on like usually like 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the season, with obviously like teacher supervising. But it's a great way to move their body, get involved. That's also something else. That bottom one, which I think is really cool that I learned when I got here to Springfield, is we have a late bus. Meaning that eliminates a barrier for kids to get home. They just have to sign up for it. They get dropped off. Late bus is a little different than their usual pickup. It's a dropped off at a location that's no more than like a block or 2 to walk. Sometimes it may be right in front of their house, depending on where they live. But it goes off in the 4 different like waves of neighborhoods. Like, oh, there's an Orland bus, there's a Flowertown bus, there's a Whitmore bus. But definitely something to take advantage of, and it comes in 2 waves based on the length of the activity. For example, sports usually go till 4:30. Some of these other ones, like Homework Club, 3:45. There's 2 waves of late buses. So like they just have to make sure they get on the 3:45 for like the earlier clubs, or most likely the sports are 4:30. One thing I want to add though, if your student is planning on playing a sport, if they are not picked up by the time that late bus comes, our job is to put them on there so they have a ride home. Just a plug here, like, because I've been that coach that's waiting with the student that's getting a ride. But I think it's a really cool thing that the district has that's unique for us. That's not everywhere, but definitely like helps our students get involved after school.
All right, how to get help. We get emails, and sometimes you kind of don't know where you're supposed to start. So in general, I would say your first point of contact, always your teacher. Always, always, always reach out to your teacher. After that, if you're still feeling like I'm not really getting an answer, I'm not really quite sure where I want to go, school counselor. After that, one of the assistant principals, and usually after that, if it needs to be, it goes to me. Definitely a chain of command there. Definitely we want to make sure that we're honoring that place and space where your kid first lands, which is that classroom. In general, we also have many resources available on the website. Also, our front office is incredibly helpful. If you call and you just aren't sure where you're supposed to go with something, whatever question it might be, they will absolutely help you. The other thing you'll need to know is a big change, I think, from coming from Erdenheim to here is the platform that your students will spend the most amount of time in is Schoology. And you will spend your time in PowerSchool, where you will be able to view grades and updates. They will be working directly in Schoology. A little bit like a Google Classroom, has a lot of different features, but their assignments are pumped through Schoology, their syllabus, everything they need to do, and they check. You will hear that term over and over again, Schoology. Right now, our parents do not have access to Schoology. Your access or your portal would be PowerSchool. So that's something that's really important. If you want to see it, quite honestly, what I tell parents, have your child turn their Chromebook around and show you their Schoology. That simple. They don't know that Chromebook, we do. And you as parents have every right to say, hey, show me what you're looking at. And do that, because they should be sharing that with you. And yes, they will take their Chromebook to and from school every single day. As often as possible, it is their responsibility to charge it, to get it ready, but they will need it, and they will bring it home very, very often. Okay, next slide, please.
Okay, so that amazing Google form you received, remember, that's your one piece of homework, because I will find you, okay? Because this is the information I need to complete scheduling, and it's really important because I really, really want to make sure I can get the students into those ensemble courses, and it's a little bit complicated because I went down there and I felt like almost everybody raised their hand. So it stressed me out just a little bit, but it's okay, we're gonna make it happen. But I really wanna make sure that that gets accomplished because I wanna get those students into the ensembles that they choose. And if you're hearing this and you're like, wait, I have no idea what you're talking about, don't worry, I'll send out some reminders to you guys to make sure that that gets completed. Also, math placement. In July, all the students will receive a math placement letter. We have an accelerated 6-7 course that we use. I'm not going to go into all the details because what I really want you to do is if you have a lot of questions about, I want to hear more about this course, or I want to hear more about what the 6th grade curriculum looks like, or I want to hear all the specific details about math placement. That's all in our curriculum guide. We spend a ton of time curating that curriculum guide, making sure that information's in there, and it's a great place to go to read through and figure out all those step by step. But in summary, the math placement will take place over the summer. We'll be using a lot of PSSA data, attendance data, Lincoln scores, which this is kind of went into place last year, and it was our most successful year of students not moving in or out. It was a really successful year. Students felt that they really conquered the material, they felt strong, they felt successful. And the best, what I would like, the main piece I want to say about math placement and what this looks like is no matter your trajectory of your student in middle school, no matter what, if they are in Math 6, Math 7, Math 8, and don't take any accelerated courses, they still have the ability in high school to get to any AP course that they desire. That's how we made it. We wanted to make sure that there's many different pathways for our students to get where they wanted to be. Students developmentally are at all different places through their middle school career. And sometimes what happened is that this would have been me. I loved math in middle school. I would have tried to do all of the accelerated courses in middle school, and then when I got to calculus, it was not good for me. But what happens is that you still have to take more math courses. You have to hit that curricular requirement in high school. And so what we really want our students to do is figure out, we want to build them a strong foundation so that when they go into high school, they have all the different pathways and we're able to be successful where they want to get to when they come out of middle school. So there's Math 6-7. So what you'll get is a Math 6-7 or a Math 6 letter over the summer. And if you have any questions, you're going to be able to reach out to me. There will be some orientations over the summer. It's going to be a little bit tricky because we're still under construction, so we don't have dates for that yet. We're hoping to bring people in on tours probably in August. We have to wait for that construction to wrap up. Student schedules will be released probably early August. You'll all have your letter from your team, but you'll also get that schedule that we saw earlier, exactly the different blocks of the day, what the specials look like, and you're going to double check that a couple weeks before the school year starts. We will have a back to school night. We try to do it early in September. It'll be really exciting. Hopefully we'll be able to bring everybody into that new auditorium to see that phenomenal space. There's usually a supply list you can order through secondary HSP on our website. And again, I can't stress this enough, going into the curriculum guide is a great place to start if you have a lot of questions or you're that person that really likes to dive deeper in what we're doing. Okay?
Okay, as you've heard this mentioned over and over again, construction. So just a couple things to highlight. Hopefully this is the last time we do a major presentation in a setup like this. So by next year, some of the things, there's some things that are finished. If you walked in through the top floor, those are brand new bathrooms. We expect to have 3 more sets of those completed sometime next year, early on in the fall. A couple other things that should all be finished up, our clinical suite, as you saw in our video. So all of our counselors right now are spaced all throughout the building. They will all be centrally located right near the nurse, which is wonderful, and our school psychologist. There's also going to be a sensory room that's attached off of that, which is incredible. Newer fields, our brand new main office, which is the door you walked in through. That's a brand new entrance and a beautiful main office. Fitness center, literally behind this wall, which this used to be the stage. So we're like in limbo a little bit with some of our spaces, which is kind of fun. And a brand new auditorium, which is an incredible, as you saw a little bit from that one video, it's massive with its own entrance, and it's just gonna be great. So we're in flux this year, there's been a lot of construction, kids have done a great job. Our cafeteria is going to be all brand new by the time they come back. So in addition, as I mentioned in the beginning, to the internal, we have a lot of external construction. I don't know if anybody also saw, we literally had ducklings born like today. So there's a goose out front. I'm not kidding you, today, I swear to you, today. This is as wild as the middle school gets, but we were standing in our office and they were falling from the tree, I'm not kidding, out of a nest, and there is a goose sitting out front on like 6 little babies. So please don't go near the goose because she is literally protecting babies. And that kind of describes to me what the middle school is like. Honestly, something wild and crazy happens every single day. Internally, externally, with our kids, with us, it's the beat that goes on here, and we love it, or else we would not be here. Out of all the places and ages I've ever done, by far middle school is my favorite. And the people that are here will tell you the same thing, because you have to love it to be here, because it's a wild ride. It really is, and the geese explains it all. Next slide, please. All right, again, we just put up some resources and where to go if you have questions. We try to communicate similar to what you're used to. Often, every week, we send out our weekly bulletin, our s'more, you're gonna get that. Teachers are very good at responding. I think we're really good at responding. I think people get a response within 24 hours. At least we try to. I think that's really important. If you're taking the time to reach out, we should answer you. Again, Power School, the website, sports, so many people, a lot of people here to help. I would also like to mention, we do have Dr. Dennis and Mrs. Trage who are in the back, and they are with our special education office, and they came also to support us. And I think the reason why that's important is we work really closely with central office. And I want to make sure that you understand that, because it is important for us to run as a building. We have to connect with our district office. From the superintendent to the assistant superintendent to the directors to the supervisors, they really help support the work that goes on in our buildings and our programs. So having them here tonight, I think, speaks volumes to the support they have for special education and gifted support services. They're here a lot and often, and we're fortunate we're walking distance to pretty much everybody, so that's also really cool. All right, just take I'm not going to read this to you, just a quote in terms of this is kind of how we think and feel about our middle school kids. I think it really does summarize for us, as you can, I hope you can tell, and I hope it comes across the passion that I think the three of us feel about the work we do and the kids we serve and the staff that we serve every single day. It's really important. I'm being honest, it can be a crazy time, but it's also a really fun time. The kids are really genuine and they say things and they're open and they're still willing to talk to us, which is great. They're going through a lot of change and we get to experience all of that with them and with you. So do buckle up and don't be afraid to pick up the phone and ask questions, because and I've also gone through it as a parent, I should have said. Sorry about that. I have 2 boys about to be 21 and 23, so I do know it all too well. And yes, it's still when I get those phone calls, I'm like, what? It happens. So I get it. I think at this time what we want to do is, I know we talked a lot, and I'm sorry, it's a lot of information. We did record. We'll make sure everything's posted so you can go back through it again, but we want to make sure we take some time for your questions, because we're all here. So at this time, we're going to open it up and answer what any questions you might have.